What is invoice finance? In this video, I'll explain what it is, the different types, what it costs, and how it can benefit your business. Let's start with a simple definition. It's a financial service for businesses that allows you to get the cash that's tied up in your unpaid sales invoices. So rather than waiting for customers to pay you, you get access to that cash immediately. So how does invoice finance work? What happens is your invoices are raised to your customers exactly the same as usual for the services or goods that you provide. Now, customers are normally granted a period of credit in the UK, and so I expect you're waiting for those invoices to be paid. Invoice finance gives you a large proportion of the cash that's outstanding immediately. So you get that up front, and then you only have to wait for the balance once the invoice has been paid. Factoring versus invoice discounting. Broadly speaking, there are two different types of service. Factoring gives you money against your invoices and also a credit control service, whereas invoice discounting just gives you the money against the invoices without the credit control function. This means you can retain that yourself, so you maintain the contact with your customers if you wish. The facility can even be confidential so that the customers are completely unaware that anyone else is involved with this process. Another important distinction between products is between whole turnover and selective facilities. Now, selective means that you pick and choose which invoices you want to get funding against. That means you can control both the amount of money that you're releasing and also the amount of cost. The alternative is what we call whole turnover. That means that you take all of your invoices and you get finance against all of them. Now, this can be useful if you're trying to maximize the amount of money available to your business. What does invoice finance cost? Now, this is a difficult question to answer because it depends on the size and type of your business and also on the type of service that you want. Now, there are some pointers that I can give you here. The minimum sort of fee for an all-inclusive arrangement that includes all the charges would be about £3,500 plus VAT if applicable per annum. Now, that doesn't mean that you're always going to be paying that much or that it will always be limited to that much. It depends very much on the size of your business and the type of service that you're looking to access. You could pay selectively for individual invoices that you need funded. That could just be one or two invoices here and there, and that could be a few percentage points of the invoice value. Now, if you're looking for a facility for a slightly larger business, there will normally be three elements to the pricing. The first is what we call service charge or administration charge, which is a small percentage of the turnover that you put through the facility. The second fee is what we call discount charge. Now, that will be a percentage that is charged for the amount of money that you use from the facility. And lastly, there could be ancillary charges, which would be one-off things, like there could be an arrangement fee, but these are not consistent between different services and different providers. If you want to get an idea of what it is likely to cost you, we have put together an indicative costing model on our website, and I will put the link to that in the description or comments to this video. Ultimately, the pricing is very much driven by your individual circumstances. So the best way of finding out what it is going to cost is to get a quote search done by specialists such as ourselves at FundInvoice that will be able to tell you exactly what the pricing will be for your business. We can also put different providers in competition so you're getting the best possible rates. If you've already got a quote from a provider or you're already using a facility, we also have an interesting benchmark checker tool on our site. That allows you to put in the rates you've got at the minute, and it checks it against our benchmark rates, which are what we expect to be available on the market. This will give you an idea if you've got a really competitive costing or if you could potentially save some money by moving to somebody else. What are the advantages of invoice finance? Well, the first one, and the really obvious one, is that it improves your cash flow. Because you're no longer waiting for customers to pay, you get access to the majority of the invoice value immediately. And this can significantly boost your cash flow. You can use that money to grow quicker, you can use it to pay your expenses, and in some cases you can use it for things like acquisitions of other businesses. What are the disadvantages of invoice finance? Well, of course, there is going to be a fee for using the service. That's the first thing. And it's not suitable for every type of business. For instance, if you don't raise invoices on credit terms, then invoice finance is not going to be something that will be applicable to you. But if you are raising them on credit terms, it is likely to be possible to find you a facility to release some of that cash. Who should use invoice finance? Well, there are lots of businesses in the UK that use it. It's very common in sectors like recruitment. Temporary and permanent recruitment companies often use invoice finance to release the cash from their invoices so they can pay their staff. But it's also used in other businesses as well. Manufacturing use this type of facility a lot. Others like wholesalers, transport companies, and even construction sector companies can get access to money against applications for payment, which is a different way of operating than raising invoices that is very specific to the construction sector. Whatever the trade that you're involved in, if you're raising invoices on credit terms, it's likely that there will be a facility that will help you. So what are your next steps if you want to explore your invoice financing options? Well, the best thing is probably to get in touch with specialists like ourselves at fundinvoice.co.uk. We have the access to the market to find you price savings on quotes that you've received elsewhere. We've done that consistently, been able to save money for our clients that have sourced quotes independently. If you want to just get more information about the products and the likely costing, all of that is on our website, so have a look at that. And there are contact forms on there that you can use to request a quotation search, and we'll do our best to find you exactly what you need and find it at the best prices that are available.